Okay, same thing with the front leg. As far as round, the front feet are always bigger than the back feet. So sometimes I take too much off the sides of a back foot and then it looks funky. So just be cognizant of how much you're taking off. Really tight in front and then taper it out a bit. Front feet being bigger, you can go a little closer. You have to be more cautious making the back feet look oblong, which is something you don't want to do. So see, I've set the shape, and then I brush it up here, and then I can clean it up. But you always want to bevel back to get that post look, like his little legs are just a post. And then you want to get this stuff back here. Again, some people are leaving a lot there. I really don't. I'm conservative with him, but I don't. And the curve shears are wonderful. Highly recommend them for feet and other places like the rough. They're great too. One more point about the feet. Don't cut above the nails. That's where you stop right there. They look really funky if you cut above the nails. Okay, next for everybody's bugaboo, the rear end. I get more requests for people to show me how to trim a rear end than a front end. So this is the big scary rear end. Again, it helps if you know something about your dog's conformation. That would really help. Does your dog have a good tail set? Does it not? And here's my tool for the rear end. Thinning shears fairly close. I don't like the big chopper, especially on a little dog like this one. You can quickly end up with no coat. And then this is just a straight shear. It's cheap. They were $45. They're excellent. Here's a more expensive shear, but as you can see, it's curved. It's got a little curve. So I'm happy with straight shears for this, but curves are nice too. Okay, the first thing I do is we're going to go up a little bit here. Whoop. This area at the base of the tail really interferes with what you're doing on the butt. So I brush it up and I trim it a little at a time. Now I'm using the curves. You have to be careful because some judges will put the tail down and really look at that, and they're not happy if it's obviously trimmed. So I start with a little bit and see how we look and go from there. Then I pick up the tail and I get up under there a little, just a little, all conservative. Then here's the tricky part. You start with the anus. It's okay, sweetheart. Stand up. And you need your dog to stand when you do this. When you pull up on his tail or her tail, they really need to cooperate and not, oh, sit down, freak out, somebody pulling my tail. You have to have them trained to groom properly. Your dog needs to be trained. So what I'm doing is this is my center point, the anus, which by the way, I used a 10 blade on a clipper, but you can carefully use scissors. Some people don't like the anus to show, but I can't live with dogs with hairy little anuses because then they get poo-poo on them and that's no fun. So this being my central point, I cut out from there. You never want to cut across. You're doing this. You're cutting out from there. Conservative. And then from there, you're going down. You're getting this stuff almost straight down. Maybe a little curve at the bottom. Depending on the dog's rear, I leave some dogs with more hair, a little below the hock than others. Just depends if I want to show off their hocks or if I don't. And I keep combing it down so this is clean right here. Whoop, you can't see it. turn you down a little. I want this part clean. So now he's got these big fluffy pants. So to deal with that, you have to come along the side. Again, you want to be careful. Don't practice right before a show. I'm doing this before a show because A, I'm brave, and B, I've done it a million times, so I have no one to blame but myself if I screw up. You always want to move in the direction of the coat. Down is better than up. Up, you tend to catch too much hair. Down, it's more likely to lay down in front of you, and you won't catch as much hair and screw up. So on the rear, if you're scissoring down, you're better off. Now, I'm not going to finish that right now. Oh, the tail. I don't like a big long tail, and I don't like too much taken off the sides of it. I just take a little. I usually just do a straight cut. I don't twist it or do any of that hoo-ha stuff I've seen people do. I just take it and figure, I don't know, take about that much off. Whatever. I like to be showy, like, oh, my dog's tail is cut short, but yet it still touches his ears. You want the tail to touch the ears. And when he's out there running around, it will be, even though it's quite short. This part here, you can use thinners on. You can use thinners on any of this. It would be fine. Sweetie, come here. You can go ahead and use thinners. Smooth this out. If you feel like it's not smooth, you can go over this with thinning shears. Don't go up. Whoop. Don't go up. Just go down. Take the thinners with the coat. And I don't think he needs bulk taken out. You could just smooth a little with the thinners. Usually I don't even do that. I don't use thinning shears a lot, probably because I'm mostly a poodle groomer. Okay, let's look at his side. You want a tuck up. You want a waist. So you have all this funky hair hanging down here. You're going to work on that and this stuff here too. So I'll show him to you when you're done. I'm not going to show you every single thing. I don't have that much film to go. You also look at different angles, see how that's really sticking out. This particular dog, he has his undercoat is about right. It's his guard hairs that really stick out that need to be just kind of trimmed down. So most of the undercoat is fine. Okay, the front. Again, I'm not going to deal with too much of this. If the guard hairs are sticking up in a really strange manner like that, I might come along and take a little, but I like to leave some guard hairs. I don't like palms that are super, super smooth because they just look like they've been scissored. I'd rather have a dog that looks like he grew this way. So here again, the thinning shears are wonderful because I'm just tipping it and they're just the right, the curved shears, just the right amount of curve to make it a nice smooth cut.